Recently, I made a YouTube short. Well, not recently, back in October of 2022. I got 500,000 views on that, which is insane. It has more than 54,000 likes and 99.3% like ratio. So I guess I can say that a lot of people agreed with me. Anyways, this is what I said in my short.
Sure, Kaya and Bhumi had some issues with their father, but I think we never heard Katara's opinion about this. Plus, I think Aang tried to teach Kaya and Bhumi about air nomad culture, but they were not interested in it. When Bhumi became an airbender, we saw his behavior during the teaching sessions. He wasn't paying attention and he felt bored. He even said that he never wanted to be an airbender. Now that might be because of the heat of the moment.
You know, I can never keep all those gurus straight. There were like a million of them.
Kaya has some faded knowledge of gurus, which shows that Aang tried to teach them, but they were not interested in it. So Aang decided not to force his kid into the air nomad culture, which was ultimately a good decision from him. Since Aang had a responsibility to rebuild the air nation, and his older kids were not interested in it, he ended up taking Tenzins to the air temples, and decided to crash on Ember Island on their way back. I don't think Aang would deliberately neglect his kids.
Now, of course, there were some people who disagreed with me, and I get why some people would disagree. Now, Aang is just a fictional character, and proving that he's not a bad father won't change my life or yours in any way. But it might help the reputations of the writers a bit. You see, people say that they have somehow ruined Aang's legacy by making him a bad parent, or to make other characters in Legend of Korra look better. Well, I think differently. For once, if the writers have done something really well in Season 2 of Korra, it's Aang's backstory as a father. I think they've pretty much nailed it, because there was no way Aang was going to be a perfect father. He was the last airbender trying to preserve his culture. And not to forget, he was the avatar in an ever-changing world. So of course he was gonna have a lot of responsibilities. The shot was really short. Anyways, I don't think that shot was enough. So I'm kind of making this longer video to prove that Aang was not a bad father. Of course he was gonna have a lot of responsibilities. He wasn't like Tenzin, whose responsibilities were in line with spending time with his kids. And he had a normal 9 to 5 kind of a job. Now some people will just ignore the fact that Aang was the last airbender and the freaking avatar. And they will assume that Aang had a normal 9 to 5 job and pretty much had no responsibilities. I guess judging everyone based on your life experience isn't the right way to look at things. I think I can use my personal life experience with you guys. That would be a better example. I usually don't like to share things about my personal life with anyone, but for the sake of this video, I think I will have to share a few points with you guys. We are 4 siblings, and I'm the eldest. I remember when I was the only child, I was kind of like the favorite one because, I was the only child. But then my sister came along, and she became the favorite one. And then my brother came, he became the favorite one. But after that, the title was taken by the youngest one. At this point, I was 13, so I really didn't care about that. I have a family business. It's not a big corporation, but it's decent enough. My father has always tried to persuade me to get in my family business. I always loved computers and video games, so I wanted to be a developer when I was a kid. But I didn't know much about it then. And my father managed to discourage me, kind of. And he told me that I probably won't be able to become the best of developers because I don't know anything about it. I just want to become a developer because I love computers and video games. And maybe for the most part he was right. Since then I have no passion for anything. And I have always thought what I'm going to do in the future. Since I've started this YouTube channel, I have been passionate about it. It's not getting the success that I hoped, apart from the short content. So my father still have an upper hand on me. But now he has told me that I can do whatever I want, but I should still consider the family business. And as you can probably tell by this point, I'm not very much interested in it. Now my younger brother is actually interested in the family business, and my father usually takes him on business trips. He used to take me on business trips, but I don't like it. And now instead of asking me, he just takes my little brother. And I'm completely okay with that. During these business trips, they usually go to fun places, and my younger brother shows me pictures of it. Now I don't mind it now. I'm pretty happy that my father don't take me on business trips because I'm not interested in it. But what if years down the line, when I have failed at everything, I might just go blame my brother for everything and tell him that you were the favorite son and my father didn't care about me. He would take you on trips and things like that. But obviously I cannot say that because it was my decision to not take part in the family business. My father has left me to do what I want to do, and that's what I wanted at that time. Maybe later that I'll realize that maybe I wanted to spend time with my father, but it will obviously be too late for that. Now the point is that Kaya and Bhumi's story is somewhat similar to mine, I guess. Aang wasn't a perfect father, but he wasn't the worst one also. If you want to see examples of bad fathers, you have Ozai, Yakon, and it's not like Aang didn't care about his other kids. Maybe Bhumi and Kaya are not being fair to their father. And I'm also not shaming Kaya and Bhumi. Aang teaching Tenzin was part of his job. Now there are people that says that there is no scale of being a bad father. And I guess everyone who has made a mistake as a parent is a bad father. Even Hakora is a bad father. Iroh is also a bad father because he couldn't save his son. Even Tonrek is a bad father because he locked Korra from the rest of the world for about 12 years. I think all of the frustration of Kai and Bumi is just because of the fact that they miss dad. They love their father and they respect him, and they want to continue their dad's legacy. If they hated their father, they wouldn't do that. Even the writers have said it that Aang is not a bad father, and I hate to say it, but his responsibility as the Avatar was bigger than anything, because he was the only one with the job of keeping balance. The time he spent to teach Tenzin was also part of his job. He didn't force his other kids into this mess. I guess they wanted them to be happy and do whatever they want. I just hated how easily many fans have labeled Aang as a bad father, especially people who think they have also faced similar kind of situation when they were neglected by their parents. But I guess you can't just compare yourself to this fictional character because it's very different from any normal person. Aang was definitely not the most perfect father, but he's also not a horrible one. He did a decent job of keeping his family happy, and I think we can see the effects of that, of how Kaya, Bumi and Tenzin love each other and care for each other. They are some of the only siblings that do actually get along. I think this is the perfect backstory for Aang. The writers didn't ruin Aang's legacy. I think they made it realistic, and it's really compelling. Anyways, that's it for this video. For more Avatar videos, consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you in the later Avatar videos.